Hello everyone, this is Wrestling Watcher, a YouTube channel that is about watching professional wrestling. Sami Zayn is WWE Champion. You know, I thought this would happen. He's been talking about, winning a world championship for a while now. It's been a storyline they've had in the ether for a while, right? I thought it would be at WrestleMania. I thought he would win the Rumble next year, and I thought he'd go to WrestleMania in Saudi and win the title there. I thought that would be the big story, but they pulled the trigger early. And I gotta be honest, I'm happy they did. I'm happy that a title change happened at a I hate to say it, but a secondary PLE, a secondary pay-per-view, right? It's not SummerSlam, it's not WrestleMania. But you know what? The champion got caught. He got caught, right? He had Sami Zayn up. He was going for another crossroads. Sami Zayn hits the victory roll. 1, 2, 3. It's good to, have a champion get caught with something. It's like UFC. Sometimes a champion's just going to get caught with something. And that's what happened here. And it leads to a lot of interesting things moving forward. A lot of storylines you can do with this. Now, they already have Gunther and seemingly Nick Aldis about to do something, so that's a different video. I thought that would be an interesting storyline to go back to, Gunther versus Sami, but I think they're going to hold off or just maybe not do it. But you got Cody there, who could easily be like, hey, I want a rematch clause, I want my championship back. You could have Drew McIntyre come back. You could have Randy Orton come back. Right? Jey Uso is there and waiting. I thought they'd go I thought Obafemi might have been an option loosely, but I not really. But what's interesting about this is that Sami was kind of leaning heel against Cody because Cody's the big babyface. They kind of had Sami leaning heel, but now that I think about it, it was we always expect, when a babyface starts maybe doing a heelish thing, that maybe they're about to turn heel. But in reality, storytelling isn't always like that. Maybe the good guy just actually has a gripe, or maybe the good guy is just having a bad day, right? Just because a character who's supposedly a babyface character does something grayish, and an action that isn't necessarily babyface doesn't necessarily suggest that a heel turn is imminent. It just suggests that, there's different shades of storytelling. And this is one of those situations. They had Sami sort of going in this heelish direction, but he's won the title. He's gotten this huge babyface reaction. Everyone's happy. Everyone's treating it like it's another story that's been finished. It's Sami Zayn's story being finished. So I can't look at him and say, well, he's a heel. I look at him as just a babyface who's having maybe a bad time. A difficult time in storyline. He took some losses there. He was climbing that mountain, but seemingly he would trip, fall down a little bit. Things would happen that would keep him from reaching his destination. So maybe it wasn't a heel turn, it was just a baby face with some issues. The question is who the challenger is going to be. Jey Uso is a great choice. Gunther I don't think is going to happen. Cody would be a very interesting choice. I like the idea of Drew McIntyre. I don't think Sami Zayn's ever beaten Drew McIntyre in a televised match. I think that was a story earlier this year at the Royal Rumble where Drew beat him. Drew always has his number in televised matches. That could be a very good storyline to tell there. CM Punk's also a wild card. CM Punk versus Sami Zayn definitely has some interesting intrigue behind it, right? Throw Cody in there to make it a triple threat match, especially now if you're going to lean toward next year's Mania where you could have Cody versus Punk. They teased that after a Raw on Raw after WrestleMania. Having them in a triple threat match at SummerSlam where maybe, Punk hits the GTS on Cody, but Sami Zayn manages to throw Punk out and get the win, sort of thing. You can definitely get a storyline heated up that way. But Sami is champion. I think it's great. I think Sami is a main event quality performer. And I think, he can have a decent little run here. It's going to be all for this one, guys. Thank you.